Peace and shalom to the family, and good morning. How's everybody doing? It's your brother, Priest Daniela, Lions of Israel, Maccabees Alliance Council, with another impromptu video. It's early in the morning here on the East Coast, so a lot of brothers and sisters will catch this on the rebroadcast. As always, I would ask that you brothers and sisters, when you come in the house, just do two things for me. Number one, if you can hit the like button, that way the video becomes more visible to people. Once they log on to YouTube, they can see that we have a new video. And also, I like to know who I'm talking to, so you brothers and sisters can drop where you're watching from in the chat, what state, what city, what country, etc. I'm going to try not to rant this morning because the purpose of this video is not to rant, it's just to talk, right? So you brothers and sisters, you see the title of the video. And you might wonder, well, what prompted me to do this video? Now, if you've been living under a rock, unless you've been living under a rock, everybody knows the statement that the actor Malik Yoba made, who used to play on a TV show called New York Undercover. Everyone knows the statement that he made on that recently concerning his, let's call them preferences. Let's use some nice words today. His preferences, what he finds attractive. Everybody knows about that, right? Okay. I had no intentions of even addressing it because at the end of the day, we know where we live and we know what time we're living in. So it really was no need for me to address this, so I thought. So this morning, I was watching actually another video by another YouTuber called Choke No Joke, right? And if you brothers and sisters don't know who he was somebody that spent many years down with the Rockefeller brand. He was working directly with Damon Dash and others. And to make a long story short, he had a falling out with Damon Dash and with Jay-Z, et cetera, et cetera. And Choke has a YouTube page, and basically he has been outing everybody in the industry, everybody. So I usually will watch his shows just to see, what he's talking about. And this morning, as I'm driving down, he starts talking about this interview. I'm going to share my screen. He starts talking about this interview right here. This interview right here starts talking about. Let me share my screen so you brothers and sisters can see it. This is an interview that Malik Yoba did yesterday on the Breakfast Club, right? And so I'm listening to him talk about this interview, and I had no intentions of watching it whatsoever because I really don't care. Again, we know where we live, and we know what time we live in. So there was really no reason. I already heard this dude's announcement. I already heard him speak about his preferences, which is crazy. So I said, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You see this every day nowadays. It's almost become, sadly to say, commonplace in the society. But the more I was watching Choke's video, is the harder he was going. And the things he was saying, I was saying to myself, what they were saying that? It can't be that bad. It can't be that bad, really. So in the midst of me watching his show, I stopped watching his show and I clicked over to the interview that Malik Yoba did on the Breakfast Club yesterday. And let me start off by saying this, right? The interview is even worse than he was saying. I don't know how many of y'all saw this interview. This interview is even worse than what he was saying. He was going hard. As I sat down and I watched this interview, I only could make it about 21 minutes into the interview when I had to stop it just to detox my ears. What's going on here is crazy, brothers and sisters. First thing I didn't realize, as I'm watching this interview, I would say for the first 8 minutes, I was under the impression that in this screenshot right here, you had 2 men and 2 women. At the 9-minute mark, I came to the realization, no, that's 4 men. Huh. That's 4 men. Yeah. Yeah. And as I listen to them, I mean, just this is an example of what happens when you don't have the Bible. Now we know the conscious community has been banging on the Bible, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. This interview, this image is an example of what happens when you take the Bible out of the mix. What am I talking about? When you listen to this interview, right? We all know that they have new terminologies nowadays for everything. We all know this, right? They are adding new terminologies, it seems, just about every day, right? And then one of them goes so far as to say that really, I'm paraphrasing, no terminology is really correct because what one person is not offended by, somebody else may be offended by. So you have to call people whatever they want to be called. That's what you have to do. Okay. That's one of the things that comes out in this interview. And that is why, without the Bible, that's why I have the title the way it is. Without the Bible, we will be living in a world of Malik Yobas. You see, the conscious community, they're spending so much time banging on the Bible and attacking the Bible, but they have nothing to replace it with. As far as they're concerned, you are God. This is what's being pushed by the conscious community. If y'all been under a rock, you are God and you make your own decisions, just like they're saying. So if you are God, your moral compass or what you live by may be different from the person standing next to you or the person over there or the person over there. So everybody has their own moral compass. So somebody over there might think it's okay to sleep with children. Who are you to tell them that they can't do that? Because that's what they think is right. Somebody over there may think it's okay to commit adultery. Who are you to tell them that's wrong? It's just because that's your moral compass doesn't mean that that's their moral compass. Somebody over there might commit incest. Who are you to tell them that they're wrong? So everybody has their own idea of what's wrong and right. This is what the conscious community is bringing to us, and this is what's being said in this interview. You can't call a person a transsexual because some people don't want to be called a transsexual. Some people want to be called trans. Some people want to be called tranny. Somebody else wants to be called something else. You see? Like for instance, the black, and that's a man, brothers and sisters. The black one right there with the red hair, that is a man. Okay. She said you can't call her a tranny. The one sitting next to her says they're reclaiming that term for themselves, the same way black people reclaim the word nigger. She said that they're reclaiming the term tranny and making it their own. But the chick next to her says you can't call her that. So you got to go around and ask people, what do you want to be called? That's the society that we're living in. That's the way that the world is moving. And the conscious community, is so-called conscious community, I call them fake woke, is moving lockstep with the world, whether you believe it or not, because they're tearing down the Bible. They're attacking the Bible and they have nothing, no moral compass, no moral code to replace it with. They tell you we are Kemetic, right? And they've been harping on this for years, and I've been banging them in the head. Oh, ancient Kemet dealt with Ma'at. No, Ma'at is said after you die. Those are not laws. Those are what you call declarations of innocence. After you die, you say you have not committed those 42 things in life. Those are not laws. Laws are what govern you when you are alive. So where are the papyruses or the steles that tell us it was wrong to be a pedophile in ancient Kemet? Where are they? We'd like to see them. What are the laws that say you were not allowed to have sex with the same gender? Where are those things in ancient Kemet? We would like to see it. And if they exist, what was the punishments that went along with those actions? You don't see them. Do you want to know why? Because they don't have them. They don't have that moral code. Malik Yoba could get an ankh tomorrow and join the conscious community and would be accepted. He would be accepted. And so would the rest of the people on this platform. Why not? Don't you have a guy named Rasul Abba that's running around the conscious community calling himself the gay Kemetic shaman? Don't you have that? You see what happens when you live in a world without the Bible? You live in a world full of Malik Yobas. This ish right here is crazy. I made it to 21 minutes and I had to turn it off to come on. And I promised myself I wasn't going to rant and yell and scream and use four letter words. But this is even worse than Choke said. Yo, they are redefining the almost the entire English lexicon, man. They're coming up with all these words. Now they have something to call LBGT plus. What's the plus? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Then the dude in the glasses on the left, right? He said that doctors are the one that assign the gender, not the Most High, not the creation process in the womb, whatever that goes on. No, doctors assign a gender. Who was the doctor to say that you are a male or a female? So, let alone the fact that you're born with a male part, or let alone that you're born with a female part, that means nothing. You didn't choose whether you wanted to be a female or a male. The doctor assigned your gender to you. That is what they're saying. That's what they're saying in this video. But I want to shout out. I want to shout out definitely. If you guys look right here in the lower right hand corner, I definitely want to shout out the dislike gang because people have been on it, disliking this video. And even better, I want to shout out the comment section because people are in the comment section going in. And that's the only thing that's that little glimmer of hope that our people are not completely destroyed. We're very destroyed. We're highly destroyed, but we are not completely destroyed. And there's a lot of people that have gone on this comment board and they are going in. But this is the direction that the world is moving in, and they're using our people as the face of deviant behaviors. And there is no accountability because according to this world and the fake woke conscious community, there is no God. So there's no one to be accountable to. You do as you see fit. Oh, I'm West African. Okay, well, show me, bring me forth some laws from your tradition, whatever it is. Is it Ifa? Is it what are you into? Bring me your laws. Bring me your judgments, and let's see what the penalties are. If someone is a child molester, what's the penalty for that? If someone is a rapist, what's the penalty for that? If someone sleeps with the same gender, what is the penalty for that? Well, there is no penalty. What is it? You see what I'm saying? It's easy to tear something down when you have nothing to replace it. If you really look at what's going on, especially in the so-called fake woke conscious community, it's nothing. They have no substance. It's all show. It's all show, all pomp, all circumstances, and it's really just for entertainment purposes. You will destroy the moral fabric of the Black community, the so-called Hispanic community. You'll destroy it by so-called attacking the Bible and replace it with nothing. Talking about everybody knows the difference between good and evil. Who told you that? Who told you that? Everybody's definition of good and evil is not the same. In your eyes, you may think it's good to go sleep with my wife because that's what you want to do. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't no law saying against it. Who am I to tell you that's wrong? That's why you need a codified set of laws in place that keeps our people in check. Because when our people are not kept in check, this is what happens. When there is no standing nation, no standing priesthood, no standing government for our people, that our people know that if you go to the left, that there's consequences for that, then you have stuff like this, where I can watch a thing for 8 minutes. And just by sight of my eyes, I'm thinking I'm looking at 2 men and 2 women, and I'm actually looking at 4 men who are telling me that, oh man, this thing is crazy, man. That's where we're heading. So I'm done, man. If any of you Israelites fall victim to this stupidity that's coming from the conscious community and fall out, this was never meant for you, no way. And you were never of the elect anyway. It is impossible. This is the world. This is where the world is going. This is the world that our children and our grandchildren are going to grow up in and be influenced by if the Most High God that they mock, if the Most High God that they say doesn't exist, doesn't come and destroy this wicked place. This is the future. We'll be living in a world filled with Malik Yovas, man. This guy is a disgrace. But I'm going to tell you something, man. He's going to get rich, and he's going to have a lot of powerful backing behind him because he's willing to be the face of this foolishness that's going on in the community. Oh, my goodness, man. This video was worse than Choke said it was. And I didn't even think that was possible. I didn't even think that was possible. Yeah. What can I tell you, brothers and sisters, man? Let me see something real quick. Just pardon me a second. I'm about to be out of here. Let's see. Um, oh yeah. One other thing too, really quickly, right? You brothers and sisters saw that. You brothers and sisters that know about the deviancy that's going on in the Israelite community, which is no different than what Africa Bambaataa was doing, that was wearing an ankh. That's no different than what Dr. York was doing, that was wearing an ankh. That's no different than what Nature Boy was doing, that was wearing an ankh. Some Israelites that are in this way of life are not fully repentant. They're just not. So they bring the deviancy that they had before they came into the truth with them, and we see it manifested, right? So everybody knows what's so-called going on with Brother Nasi. Everybody sees what's going on with Brother Nasi. The interview that I did with him, I had no idea of what was going on with the brother. I took the interview down for the time being, and I'm going to allow the situation to play itself out. And once everything is laid out on the table where I can see it, I'm going to address it for good or for bad. However it turns out, I'm going to let the evidence take us where we need to go. I'm going to allow the evidence, whatever the evidence is, whatever the truth is, I'm going to allow that to guide me in what I say about that particular issue, because we're not turning our back on no deviancy in our community at all. And that's the difference between us and the rest of the world, because you had that deviancy with Africa Bambaataa going on for decades. You know what I'm saying? The chill people that he molested, they're in their 40s. That went on for decades. You see what I'm saying? When we have that in our community, I seen brothers and sisters jump on it right away every time. Why? Because we have a moral character that we have to live up to that is presented in our laws, statutes, and commandments. So I'm going to allow that to play out, and I am going to address it in case people think I'm not, but I'm going to allow the evidence to take me where I need to go. But I'm going to end by saying this, right? I'm going to end by saying this. I'm extremely disappointed that I've been around a lot of Israelites that was aware of certain things, right? And you allowed myself, Captain Tazariak, General Hashar, and others to come around knowing that there's certain things that may not have been right, and y'all never told us. Right? Y'all never told us. It's like an open secret, which is really a microcosm of the macrocosm, because this problem exists in the entire black community, man. You go down to the Caribbean, you got all them damn old men raping and molesting little girls under 10 years old. I'm talking about Jamaica, Haiti, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. That shit is going on down there. Absolutely. It's a microcosm of the macrocosm because our people are sick. But if you know about these things and you not saying nothing until somebody starts running for mayor, and then all of a sudden you're saying something, you just as bad as the person that did it, in my eyes. And that's all I have to say about that for right now. Once again, man, if you could stomach it, man, this interview is probably one of the most disgusting things that I've seen or heard in a long time. And shout out to the dislike gang. And you see, I got you see, my shit is blue right there at the right. I had to dislike the video too. Shout out to the dislike gang, and shout out to everybody in the comments going hard, man. This is absolutely evil and disgusting. But this is the world that we live in. On your way out, hit the like button. Show your brother Priest Daniela some love. Make sure you subscribe to Maccabees TV. I'm right back at y'all. I got something new I'm working on that I want to share with brothers and sisters. I know y'all enjoyed the lesson I did Saturday when I went into a lot of history and stuff like that. And I know y'all want a lot more like that. Y'all want these PowerPoints that I've been working on. So I'm putting something together where I can give you brothers and sisters that, but I will definitely need your assistance to be able to get this information out, disseminate it the way that I would like to. We'll talk about that another time. Hit the like button on your way out. It's your brother Priest Daniel, Alliance of Israel, Maccabees Alliance Council, 877-53 Lions if y'all want to talk. I'm out of here. Shalom.